Hello everybody, my name is Gamma B and welcome to the Stream Games tier list. Now I'm going to get a few things straight. Let's start with the rules and stipulations. Number 1, my friend Asfanier and I will be ranking these games with an average based on our experiences. For him, it's what the game was like to watch as a viewer, and for me, it was like to play on stream. Number 2, all of these games were played in the past year on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/GammaB, not a sellout. Heyo, Editing Gamma here. I just wanted to come in and say that this video will contain major spoilers for most, not if all, of the following games. So if you have not finished these games or played them, or if you don't want to see the spoilers, then please click off the video now because this whole video is just spoilers. Thanks. So yeah, that's basically it. Take it away, past me. There we go. Stanley, 7. Talk?
Blasted lobster loads.
Anyways, so we'll start in chronological order. First up is the Stanley Parable. But when the Stanley Parable first came out, oh dude, I watched like Markiplier play it. I watched a ton of people play it because it was such a weird and silly thing, you know? Like, it was, at the time, it felt like something completely different from what I've ever seen as a game. So it always kind of intrigued me, but I never, I didn't have a computer, so I couldn't play it. This was back before Ultra Deluxe was on consoles. And then, when did Ultra Deluxe even come out? Yeah, 27th of April 2022, so that was just last year. It was really fun. I was kind of going into it and being like, oh yeah, I remember a little bit. And then all the new endings and stuff that they added was just wild, dude. It was insane. I liked it. So I'll probably slap that bad boy in A tier. Pretty cute little indie game.
Can I speak my piece?
Oops.
It's a really good game, especially the first time playing it through, just to experience it. I do think it is a bit too preachy. Like, but I get it, because, like, you kind of, the industry needs a game like the Stanley Parable.
Yeah.
So, I think sometimes it kind of came across as slightly annoying. But stuff like the Ultra Deluxe content made it even more meta, like, in a good way. They're trying to bridge the gap between player and developer, but it just came across as, like, kind of pretentious a little bit.
Like whining.
Like, oh, you don't, yeah, literally whining. Then I kind of, when I watched you play it, I kind of got it. I'd put it, and you don't have to make compromises, just what I personally put it. I'd put it B or A tier.
We could like kind of make it interesting for the tier list, and we could do kind of an average.
Yeah.
If we take into account like your opinions and all that. I totally get what you're saying though, because the biggest thing that when you said that, the thing that I thought of was the adventure line, and how it's like kind of making fun of the whole open world follow line to objective meme.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, like, it was funny. I love the adventure line, but like, I get it.
Some people need that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No, it's a pretty good game.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to consider the fact that I played like pretty much all these games myself before watching you play them.
Okay.
So like sometimes there are times for all these games, just a disclaimer that like I was watching it and I was like, damn, I just want to get to like the good part because I know when that's coming.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay, on to Senor Turnip Boy. Now this one was technically, it's technically last year, but it was literally a couple days before 2023. As time goes on, there's more and more indie games that I have a good time with, and I honestly can enjoy more than the average big game. Turnip Boy was just fun. Like, I liked the gameplay of it. It was relatively simple. It was just, it was like a Zelda clone almost. And the art style was very cute. The music was very, very good. Like, I still, to this day, sometimes put on the little credit song where he's singing about him committing tax fraud. And I was like, that's just, yeah, this is great. The music was very good. Art style was awesome. Playing it was really fun. Streaming it was super engaging. It was like, for such a silly and like I almost want to say stupid game, it had like an actually neat and kind of scary story. That kind of caught me off guard. Like, I was like, oh, Turnip Boy commits tax fraud. Nuclear fallout? What? Hold on a minute.
Turnip Boy, I do remember you streaming it. I remember a lot from the streams themselves.
It was a short series. It was I think we did it in like one episode.
Literally one stream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there for it, but I probably wasn't paying attention. But I was paying attention with the nuclear shit.
Yeah.
I don't remember your reaction to it. I remember that being kind of fun, decently fun.
Yeah.
Escapade.
Yeah.
It's a cute little game.
Yeah.
I probably.
I would say I'd put it in like middle of C. It plays like
Yeah, I
middle
put
of
it
C.
C too. There you go. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll just keep it in the smack dab middle of C. I'd
Cool.
say that's a pretty good spot. Persona 5 Royale Party Guard Challenge. I really liked the Party Guard Challenge. The rules I had made for it, I didn't think they would work as well as they did.
I think they worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I liked that I used the Stream Deck to kind of keep track of that, and it ended up working well with the whole icons. Like I still have them on the Stream Deck. Look, I think I still have the rules too. Yeah, there they are.
I enjoyed it more than as someone who, keep in mind, I don't even really like. I really, really, really love Persona 5. I don't like adore it.
Yeah, you don't
I
like
think
love it.
I would never replay it ever, like, especially because of how much of a commitment it is.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I really enjoyed watching it. Like, I actually looked forward to it. I'd probably put it at like. See, because the thing is, it was only 30 episodes, so I enjoyed it while it lasted. But I don't know how I would have felt if you had gone all the way through the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
But for the experience we had, like I'm just ranking it on the experience.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
watching it. I had B or A.
Really?
Yeah, it was really
Okay.
good.
How
Actually,
about
B.
B?
B. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't we take a good average and we say low B tier?
Yes.
So it'll be outclassed by
It's
a
just
bunch of
better-
other stuff.
It was better than Turning Point.
Okay. So anyways, on to the next game. The one we did after that was Metal Gear Solid
Metal
1.
Gear. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, this is where it gets spicy. Ooh.
Oh man.
I love Metal Gear Solid 1. Like,
Fuck.
I fucking
Yeah.
love that game.
If I'm talking about it as a game, that's literally my least favorite Metal Gear Solid, and it's still like such a fantastic game.
I know, right? A lot of older games kind of, I'm going to put it in the best Gamma B way possible. They kind of suck. A lot of older games can be, they can be attributed to nostalgia or classic stuff like that. Like, I call it my stupid little first game-itis, where I'm like, it's first game in the series. It's got some problems, but it's also pretty good. And I think Metal Gear Solid 1 is a fucking diamond in the rough in terms of old PlayStation games, where that game, to this day, just feels good. Like, for a PlayStation 1 game, it feels great. Even though it has, like, problems with aiming and, like, other things like that. But, like, it still just feels, it feels amazing to play that game. Sneaking around and, like, when you get good at it, it just feels good. And for a PlayStation 1 game, where it is, PlayStation 1 is just full of games that are like, a fucking Crash Bandicoot 1, you can't keep a save file, so if you lose all your lives, you're back to the start of the game. Like, or RPGs that combat takes like 10 plus minutes, and you're just like sitting there, it's like, this is agonizing. Metal Gear Solid 1, genuinely, it just looks like an old game. Doesn't feel like it, but it looks like it. That's it. So,
One of the best games of all time, period.
yeah, genuinely, yes. I would plop Metal Gear Solid at low S tier. Because, actually, no, I'll put it, just to give some room, I'll put it at the very, like, tip top of A. Very, very top of A. Man, I'm kind of, I'm torn on this one, actually. Hold on.
Yeah. Should I give my piece? Would that help balance
Yes,
things out?
yes.
Watching it, Metal Gear Solid 1. Yeah, just to reiterate, not just on Metal Gear Solid 1, but about like streaming or games in general. If it looks like the streamer is having fun with a game, then generally the viewer will also enjoy it more because
Yes.
I don't know, the
Yes.
streamer's more dynamic, more friendly with it. Metal Gear
Absolutely.
Solid 1 was the first Metal Gear Solid game, so you weren't exactly sold on the series. And I vividly remember watching this, and I'm like, is he just gonna put down this game?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's gonna play Metal Gear Solid 2 one day. Like
Yeah.
100%. Well, like there's the first like couple of parts. Maybe that first episode where you just couldn't find out the control. Obviously, that isn't your fault because it's an old game.
That's the thing is like I think about it was halfway through the series where I was just like, this is fucking fun. Like I think I can probably pinpoint the exact moment. It was when we were fighting Raven. Yeah, I was thinking Crow, but I was like, that's not right. When we were fighting Raven, that was the moment where I was like, I can just fucking do anything. Like I can be like, oh, I could peek and shoot at him. I could whip out the controlled rocket launcher. I could sneak and throw grenades at him. And then I was like, man, this game is like, for a PlayStation 1, this is so dynamic.
Also remember, I did kind of fucking backseat game Metal Gear Solid 1 with you. But
wouldn't have been the same if you didn't.
A tier.
A tier?
Yeah.
2. So that was June 19th is when I highlighted that. So yeah, so this Metal Gear Solid 2 is the next big boy that we can rank. From the start, I was already like, I had taken a break from Metal Gear Solid, or from streaming in general. So it'd been like a month or two or whatever. And I think the whole thing was like, oh yeah, we're gonna come back and I'm gonna play Metal Gear Solid 2. It's gonna be awesome. And I was excited. Like after 1, I was really, really excited because I was just like, man, it's gonna be more modern. It's gonna be like PlayStation 2. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. And it did. It felt really good. Because we played the, was it the PS3?
3 version.
Yeah, we played the PS3
version.
HD version.
Up-res, yeah.
And that was crazy. Like the quality was really good. Very, very pretty. Frame rate was very consistent. And it's like Metal Gear Solid 1 felt really, really good. Raiden was kind of a little whiny baby at first.
Yeah, he is.
Like he's very whiny. He's like, ugh, I gotta really do this. And, you know, the Colonel's like, oh, shut the fuck up, Raiden, just do it. I liked him a lot. I ended up really warming up to Raiden. He kind of just came off as like, he was like Snake, but he didn't have the practical experience to really have the maturity that Snake has.
It's in VR.
Yeah.
I did it all in VR.
I did my training in VR, and Snake's like, pussy.
Shut the fuck up. You could kill yourself. Like,
Yeah, literally. And the different fighting style of Raiden was also cool. Like the way he did like flips and shit was neat. I liked Raiden. I did. Once again, it kind of felt like the Legend of Zelda of Legend of Zelda, but actually cool. And it, like I said, it just felt good. It just felt good. And when the whole first-person aiming stuff felt a lot better than the first game, a lot more reliable. Addition of the tranq gun was chef's kiss. Yes, the ability to not lethally kill bosses.
non-lethal.
That
Just
was
like an iconic part of the series.
that was awesome, and I did that for every game. Like for, did I do that? Yeah, I did it for the last game, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Right, because I bought like the squishy bullets or whatever they are.
The Mosin Nagant, which literally obliterated everybody. Oh, we'll get there. We'll get
Oh
there.
yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. 2, yeah, I really like 2, and the end part where it scarily predicted the future, like almost to a very terrifying degree, was honestly like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I don't know if I could say it's just beautiful writing or just like good perception on the devs part. Like, I have no idea, but it truly was probably the biggest like future prediction meta moments I've ever seen in a game. Like, it was one of a kind with that end section of Metal Gear Solid 2. I have never seen something like that ever, and I don't think I ever will, to be completely honest. Maybe one day, maybe we'll see something like it again. But maybe I'm giving Metal Gear Solid 2 a little too much credit. But I would probably plot Metal Gear Solid 2 up in low S tier. That's where I would put it. But what do you think, Asfania?
S. No questions asked.
S.
It's so fun. Yeah. I do want to ask just another thing. What What do you think about the setting switch? Like Metal Gear Solid 1 was like the fucking island.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the tankers.
Foxtown facility. Yeah. So what do you think of the tankers? Because I know that's something that a lot of people actually don't like about Metal Gear Solid 2.
In my mind, I do have a big like kind of bias towards settings. I think everybody does to a degree. It's not, you know, it's not like a friendly or interesting environment. In a way, it definitely made it feel more like almost like a spy movie in a way. Like it was pretty simple, you know, it was a big hexagon or whatever. I think I prefer 3's atmosphere and location, but I did like 2. I liked the tankers a lot. It was just there to set up the story. Yeah.
For it being a facade to Metal Gear, what is it? Metal Gear. It
Yeah.
wasn't Rex.
An
Yeah, it was
exact
just a
copy
facade,
of the
yeah.
first game.
Yeah. It was just a facade for Metal Gear. I forgot his name. Do you remember?
The first one, Arsenal Gear.
The second one, Arsenal Gear. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Arsenal Gear. That was.
Yeah, Arsenal Gear.
Oh, dude.
Very good.
Before we move on, oh my god, the fight where Raiden's fighting like a bunch of Metal Gear Rays. Fuck, that was cool. Oh my
yeah.
god, I completely
Dude,
forgot about
Butt-Ass
that.
Naked before that too.
Yeah.
That was really funny. Yeah. Like when you're going into like the entire Metal Gear Solid series, when you're saying like you're gonna play through the whole thing, I was really interested in like the thing I was most excited to see was the reaction to Metal Gear Solid 2. Because it's just how mindfuck it is.
Yeah, that one was definitely the biggest mindfuck.
You need scissors. 61.
I started looking into it afterwards, and it was just like the more I looked, the more I was just like, oh my god, how did he know?
Yeah.
How?
In a series of high bars with crazy twists, like literally every single game has like a fucking mindfucky fucking.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Even Metal Gear 1 on the MSX had a bigger twist than Metal Gear Solid 1 in my opinion, which
Damn.
says a lot.
Okay.
Because Metal Gear 1 revealed that Big Boss was your like colonel guy, like who was
Yeah.
over on your intercom.
Because he was a
whatever it's
good guy
called.
at first, right?
Yeah, he was a good guy. He was like your leader, or just like the guy, kind of like the colonel, like the same role, like
Mhm.
your intercom guy. And then he's revealed to be the leader of the place you're trying to infiltrate.
Yeah.
That was a pretty big twist for its time.
I heard.
But-
I think I watched a video review or a video like overview of the whole story of Metal Gear. I don't know if I did watch 2, but I don't really remember much about Metal Gear 1. Like I didn't play it, right? It was like a 20-minute video of the whole story, and it was months ago now. So all I remember is something Metal Gear and Big Boss. Whoa.
Then defeat Big Boss, and then Metal Gear 2 is Big Boss again.
Yeah.
He's actually alive.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2, easy as.
Yeah. 100%. I agree.
And something that's gonna happen a couple more times, I think.
Oh yeah.
With the Metal Gear
100%.
Solid series.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, now the one next is Metal Gear Solid 3. Based on the timeline of events, I moved directly from 2 to 3. So I think this is when I was really starting to get into the games. Now, my personal favorite out of the whole series that I played, Metal Gear Solid 3. When I played it, I already had some experience with the game itself. I like going back through the series was a massive, almost like amnesia moment where every time something would happen, it would just like
The prophecy is true.
kickstart my brain. I was like, oh, I remember this. I remembered a lot about that game without actually remembering a lot. Like in my mind, all I really remember is like the start of the game and like eating a snake or something, and then the tank at the very end of the game. Yeah, that was all I remember. And it was a weird, almost nostalgia flashback, and it was good to finally almost put the lid on that for my childhood. Like that has been left open for years, and I would have finished it on PS2 if our disc wasn't scratched. The story was really cool, it definitely felt like, out of all, Metal Gear Solid espionage action or whatever it's called, it definitely felt like the most like stealthy espionage game where my cover really mattered. The whole healing system too, where it wasn't just chug back a couple like healing items. It was you gotta eat and then you have to let your health go up. And it's like, I liked that. I liked the real feeling of it because it wasn't just constant gunfire from enemies at you all the time. And oh my god, I got hit a bunch of times, med kit, oh, bang, 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 you know, like I had to be tactical about it. I had to be stealthy. I had to take advantage of things around me. And it felt, just out of all the 4 of the games that I played, it felt the best stealth-wise. Like Metal Gear Solid 4 was pretty good too. Metal Gear Solid 4 was really, really good. I think I would say Metal Gear Solid 4 is probably even better. I think I just prefer 3. All the different camos are cool. Yeah, like all the different camos you can equip. That was kind of a thing that came in Metal Gear Solid 3, right?
Yeah.
Was all the camos, and you kill a boss non-lethal and you get like a cool gun or a cool camo or whatever. And I was just like, man, it was awesome. The bosses were interesting. Yes, the bosses were, to be fair, it was the same song and dance of, ooh, a big group of crazy people. Whoa. Kill them one by one. A slammer.
Yeah.
The music in that game was amazing. And I really liked, I just liked Big Boss. He was really cool. As per, my Big Boss cosplay I did. That was really fun. So for me, this might be the very, maybe, I'm not saying for sure yet, but this might be the very tip top of the list. I would say.
Squeeze my heart.
Yep. This is probably the best game you played, besides 4. Like, in this year, not only that, but like ever. Probably like top 3.
Oh yeah. Now on the timeline list, let me have a look here. Probably Metal Gear Solid 4. Let's see.
Is it Silent Hill?
Silent Hill 1.
You weren't there for Silent Hill 1. Good.
We played the original on a PlayStation 1 emulator. It had my intrigue at the very start of the game. It was one of those PlayStation 1 games where it was almost hard to look at. Cutscenes were like almost visually like, ooh, what the fuck is happening? My biggest thing was, I just played Metal Gear Solid 1 a couple months prior. So I'm like, how the fuck could this masterpiece be on the same console as this absolute shitsterpiece? Seeing it for what it is, I get the appeal. Like back then it was probably terrifying as a game. The controls were really bad. I did not like the controls. They were tank controls and it didn't feel good. Story-wise, very minimal. There wasn't a whole lot to really go off of. Like it was, where's my daughter? And then some person would be like, ooh, I don't know, where is your daughter? Haha. I tried my best and I got all the way to the end of Silent Hill 1 through all of it. Like I was screaming at the civil boss fight.
Flashback.
How did she
Grab me! End of flashback.
I was so mad. That shit was just stupid. I'm glad it's done, at least.
It had to be played. Like, we needed that one game to make fun of for, like, the rest of your stream.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I guess it did. It did kind of spawn that whole meme of, like, oh, your favorite game is Silent Hill. And I'm just like, no.
Because before that, we've only played bad games that are actually bad. Like, Soda Drinker Pro and Bad Rats. That we could, like make fun of them largely. But it was, like, it was actually a bad game, so it didn't matter. But Silent Hill 1 is actually, like, has critical acclaim that it was just not fun to watch, but it was really fun to watch you suffer.
Yeah. Okay. So you would say A, right?
A tier, yeah.
All right. I guess if we give it an average, we might as well just plop it into D.
Yes.
Because I would put it like bottom of the barrel. I would put it like very, very bottom.
As a game, though, I don't think it's that bad. I'd probably give it like a 6.
Yeah.
Out of 10, like a 5 or 6. Actually, yeah, it's above average.
I would say just for me as a game, I get that it's old. I'm trying to cut it some slack. It's an old game. Then I look at them and I go, oh, there's a game, Metal Gear Solid 1. Same console. And I go, oh, okay. So it is just a bad game. All right, next on the list, what do we got? We did Silent Hill 1, Metal Gear Solid 4.
Oh boy. I wonder where we're gonna put this
Oh
one.
boy.
Ooh, I wonder. Like
Yeah.
most of the game is cutscenes.
Yes, the very, very long cutscenes. I would say the final boss is one of the coolest. It was like everything I love about boss fights, like final boss fights. That whole fight with Liquid, where the health bars were changing and the music was changing, and I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Going through the whole like it's so fan servicey.
Oh yeah.
Like only that series, like there's not many series that could actually do that and not come across as cheesy. Well, it is cheesy, but it's like not annoying, you know? Because
Yeah.
like if you actually stuck your whole way through, which you kind of have to Metal Gear Solid 4, I can't imagine playing that game first and understanding what the fuck
Yeah,
is going on.
yeah. Good God.
But like
Metal Gear Solid 4 was
Metal Gear
good.
Solid 4 was
It was cool. Nice little touch.
It was so fan servicey, but like there's
Yeah.
not many games that could do that, but I think Metal Gear Solid 4 kind of earned that right, especially with how iconic it even was
Yeah.
back then, in 2008 when it first came
Oh
out.
yeah. I remember my brother actually talked about it a lot. I actually recently asked my parents. I was like, oh yeah, Russ used to really like the Metal Gear Solid series, right? And my mom was like, he would not stop talking about it. I was like, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I remember. I think one of the coolest things about Metal Gear Solid 4 was not only the shop, but just the pure amount of guns you could have and options you could have. Because that was always the nice thing about the Metal Gear Solid series. You always had a lot of options, and you had the most options in Metal Gear Solid 4. Like you had a lot of different choices. The Octo Camo was cool. Yes, I like the Octo Camo as well. It also spawned a lot of really funny memes. Drebin was the shop guy. That right.
So fucking goated.
Oh, he's such a Chad.
See you.
Yeah, his little monkey pet. Oh man, like most of the enemies were terrifying, weird, futuristic robots that were just like, what the fuck is that? Very, very dynamic.
Yeah.
Story-wise, I did really like it. It just felt like it was a very clear, like very obvious parallel to the first final boss in Metal Gear Solid 1. Solid and Liquid are, on the top of the Metal Gear fighting. Same thing as the end of 4. And I was like, that's fucking rad. So cool and such a cool parallel.
It was like it felt like the most spy, like stealthy of the entire game, honestly, because it's a very action-heavy game, but like fucking COD, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. The Ava,
Mm-hmm.
that whole chapter, and then
Yeah, that was definitely the stealthiest chapter.
freaking Liquid Ocelot getting access to the entire Sons of Patriot system, shutting off everyone's guns.
That
at the end,
cutscene was
causing a
insane.
massacre. Then Ava dying afterwards. That shit was crazy.
Oh yeah. That scene was
And
insane.
right afterwards, you go back to fucking the island.
Yeah. Oh my god. When it did Metal Gear Solid 1 again, that was like,
Like literally started playing Metal Gear Solid 1
yeah,
again.
yeah. And then I love that they did that though, because I feel like a lot of games that reference back to something that happened in like, they won't show it directly because obviously in most games that would probably be kind of jarring. But like, it was almost like seeing Metal Gear Solid 1 and then a 2023 remake of the same game now. Like it was crazy.
Keep in mind, like, you just mentioned, like, how much games had developed during that time. That game Metal Gear Solid 1 came out in 1998 or 1999.
Yeah.
And Metal Gear Solid 4 came out in 2008. That was only a 10-year difference.
Yeah.
Now compare a game from, like, 2013 to now. It's, like,
Oh yeah.
not crazy. Like Metal Gear Solid, like, that thing is pretty profound, and it really showed how games have, like, changed from, like, not just like a cinematic like 1998 game. Metal Gear Solid was one of the first like very cinematic movie-like games.
Oh yeah.
But then like Metal Gear Solid 3 came out. It's like something that's already so common, and then you see like it's fucking like 1080p,
Yeah.
30 frames, like on PS3 3D graphics.
Mm-hmm. That like 10-year difference for that is actually insane. And it
Like
was
how
just-
they're originally going to actually execute Snake and Ocelot in the end. Or not Ocelot, Otacon in the end.
Yeah.
Fun fact, when they were making the game, they weren't just going to have Snake die, they were going to have him and Otacon executed for his war crimes. But then they changed that because they knew that
too much of a downer
it
ending.
caused a lot of controversy.
The mustache is really what bothered me. I like his mustache. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, he kind of had like a big bossy. He looked like a kind of big. Like if the
Yeah.
big boss was old, like we did have the big boss was old. That's basically what Solidus was.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, I
Just-
don't know.
Yeah, I liked it. The fucking holy shit. Where was it? Where was it? It was the microwave hallway.
Oh, that was so sad.
I loved that cut. That
That was like one of the best parts of the entire game. Although you can say that a lot about like a lot of scenes in that game, but like,
there was, dude. I was like, genuinely, I was like, come on, like keep going, man. Like come on. I was just like I was fucking getting into it, and it was just like,
so sad.
oh, it was so sad. This fucking like muscle suit was bursting open, and it was just brutal, especially for an old man too. Like
That was his suicide mission, basically.
basically, yeah.
If anything, that was kind of more of like the final boss of the game. Like
Yeah, for Snake, yeah,
the most like for Snake, like that was definitely the hardest thing.
yeah. That was 100% like his final boss,
Yeah.
and I really
Also,
like that.
another cool moment in the game, the fucking Central America or the South America, there was the Raiden and Vamp fight scene when he had the samurai sword.
Oh yeah.
That shit was so sick, bro.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
It's a fucking anime, like
Yeah. Oh,
like
dude.
Japanese anime.
Yeah. Raiden like swinging around all the Metal Gears and just fucking shit up. That was so cool.
Raiden
So
is
cool.
basically just like Otacon's Japanese animes. I'm surprised they could have easily made that like a line.
They could have made that a
Otacon
joke.
was there.
He could have been like,
He's
just like
fighting
my
one of my
animes.
Japanese. And it would completely make sense.
Absolutely.
It's like no one would bat an eye. Like, oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah.
He's already selling
When he
his
said it like in the first game, it was so funny. He's like, oh, it's one of my Japanese animes.
It's like, what the fuck?
and he's like,
Japanese animes. What the fuck?
Snake's just like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another thing,
Oh.
in terms of the plot, the beginning of the game, like most people know Metal Gear Solid 4 is like very fan servicey and goofy, but the beginning of the game was actually really fucking dark. It's like they're in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And
Snake was like
He's like-
disguised.
his very first line was "War has changed."
Yeah.
And then I think the very last line of the game was like his monologue at the end was war is over or whatever. I forgot.
Yeah.
It was something
Yeah.
like that.
Something like that. It was a cool parallel.
But it was really dark because like one of the themes of the game was about like how just so common war is with the freaking PPCs, the PMCs,
Yeah.
the private military companies, which is like a really big part of the game.
Yeah.
Like how war has become like the military industrial complex has completely changed and monopolized into like an industry basically.
Yep.
Where killing
Like a
has become like
business.
a source of monetary
Yeah.
a source of monetary or financial gain rather than just like fighting.
Yeah.
Which is really fucking dark and is basically shown to the Middle East where you have like a bunch of poor guys just killing each other like mercilessly.
Yeah,
and then
they
you
just
see
don't
the
have a
fucking
choice.
Robots pull out and then, like everyone gets fucking murdered.
Now that you mention it, yeah, like that is actually like really,
it came
really
across
dark.
as like whiplash because even like Metal Gear Solid 3 had its dark moments, but it was probably like the most dark Metal Gear Solid has felt, honestly. Like
Oh yeah.
where it actually felt real, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I agree. It was, yeah, it was. I get it. Now that you really mention it, yeah, obviously the whole series is like dark in its own way, but Metal Gear Solid 4's whole theme is how like it's been made into like a business.
Like all the games are anti-war, but I think Metal Gear Solid 4 even went more in depth.
Metal Gear
Anything
Solid
else you want to say?
I
There's a
don't-
lot to say.
There is a lot to say. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 4. There's a lot to say about it.
Oh yeah. So where are you gonna tier it?
Not 100%. I've been gone. It was. Thank you. Okay, that's good then. I think Metal Gear Solid 4 is an amazing game. But I don't know if I would say it's better than 2 or 3. But I would definitely say it's better than the first one. But it's very, very close to 2 and 3. So like, for me, I want to put it in S. But I feel like a more fair spot would be the top of A.
I'd put it in S. Like
You'd-
S.
You put it in
Yes.
S.
Yeah, because like think about it as a viewer too, like finishing the series, like oh my
Yeah,
god,
it was.
I can't wait to see like the ending of the series and
I
have
guess
everyone
that's
react
true.
to it.
It was very final. I guess
Yeah.
we'll take an average. We'll put it at the bottom of S.
Yes.
I think that's a good spot to put it. I think that's a good place to leave it. So, that was Metal Gear Solid 4. On to the next one. I believe it was Silent Hill
Silent Hill
2. The I liked the combat in Silent Hill, but at the same time, like 1 was excruciating to deal with because there was no winning. There was no good feeling after a fight. Silent Hill 3 was kind of the same. Like I was kind of getting the hang of it by the end of Silent Hill 2. And Silent Hill 3, it's about the same, man. It was just like, it just sucked. But Silent Hill 2, combat, nah. The music was pretty good for Silent Hill 2. I feel like it added a lot of atmosphere. Felt like there were a lot more characters in Silent Hill 2 that actually held a lasting impact in a way.
Eddie.
Yeah. So I liked that Silent Hill 2 was less about the demons and the monsters from hell. Oh my gosh. And it was more about James's demons. And it was more about his internal battle. It felt like the whole thing that happened was it almost came from inside him in a way.
Yeah.
Like there was the Pyramid Head who was kind of the embodiment of that, and there was the choices he had to make where it was either accept it, move on, or go with Maria and pretend that it's whatever, just replace his wife. I like that it was more focused around him, because that was the thing that I didn't like about the other Silent Hill games, because it was always the same stupid story of, oh my god, somebody is doing some fucky shit with demons and hell and pentagrams. Oh my god. It was pretty, but Silent Hill 2 added a little spice there and made it more personal. And that ending, man, that his wife reading, I don't know if it was the letter or just her saying it or whatever.
The letter, yeah.
It was like, that was one of the most like human monologues I've ever heard in a video game. The voice actor or voice actress did a fantastic, it was a good game. Silent Hill 2 was something different from the series, and I'm glad that it stands out to this day as the good one.
It was the only Silent Hill game I actually cared about you playing, if I'm being real.
No, that's fair, honestly.
This is the best one. It has the best story. I was really looking forward to seeing the tape twist where it was revealed that James actually killed his wife, and that's why he's like all fucky.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I think one of the best parts of Silent Hill 2 is like, oh, James just this normal guy. Like, why is he in Silent Hill? Like, what's up with this guy? Then I just realized, like, oh, he fucking killed his wife. Like, he's trying to hide that shit.
It's kind of traumatized by that a little bit. Yeah.
That was pretty sick. And then, of course, the ending. I'm glad you actually went out of your way to get the best ending. I consider it the best ending.
Yeah, I think it was, there was something I had to do, and I did it. I guess I just chanced it and also got the best ending, which was very nice. It felt good.
Yeah, you couldn't be in the red for too long. You had to be green, like always.
Yeah, it was good. I'm glad I got the best ending for it, and I'm glad I finished it the way I did. It felt very, almost emotional. I get very emotional when it comes to games endings and like how hard they hit me, and I love a good emotional ending. And Silent Hill 2 just like it made, like, cause it, it was all about him and his wife and everything, and I was like sitting there and I was just like, first thing comes to mind is like Chelsea, and I'm just like, I couldn't imagine ever going through this kind of situation with Chelsea, ever. Not in my life. Like, that sounds like a hell I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy.
Jaw.
Yeah, on Jaw indeed.
Oh, sorry. You should probably put your tier.
You said A, right?
Yeah, A.
For Silent Hill 2, yeah, I think I would put it probably the middle of A.
I think it was better than Metal Gear Solid 1.
You think so?
Yeah, like as a stream game.
Okay. I'll just bump it up then. We'll just bump it up and put it at the top A.
Like the actual tiers, but not like the bigger game.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot. So like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I'll be right back. I'm just gonna take a bathroom break. So
We're halfway there.
we are halfway there, good sir. So I'll be right back. I'll leave them with you, S Spaniard, by the way, if you want to talk to them.
Oh! I'm just when he comes back, I'm gonna act like I'm doing it the whole time.
Oh shit, Slay.
I'm searching. Okay, are we done?
I was not expecting to come back to that. What do we got? We got Shadow of the Colossus, right? Like it was a puzzle game. Silent Hill 3, you skipped it. Wait, did I? Oh shit. Oh shit, I
I
skipped.
was thinking like maybe.
I skipped Prey too. Wait, hold on. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, we'll come back to Shadow of the Colossus. We'll just go straight to Prey then.
For uncertainty. There's no room for doubt.
We'll go to Prey. We'll do Prey. I don't know what to say about Prey. It had the kind of the Bethesda game kind of feel to it, and it felt pretty good. It felt like a good game, I will say. The twist at the very beginning was really cool. It was, you know, I didn't finish it, but
Twist at the end is very cool too.
is there a twist at the end?
Yeah,
I-
you're actually an alien yourself.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah,
it's being
you told me
tested,
about
the whole
that.
thing's a simulation. Yeah.
Because I remember I got the bad ending where you leave and it was like, oh, it's something simulation, like do it again, whatever. I liked Prey's feel to it. I liked the setting of it. The shape-shifting aliens was, you know, it's not a concept that hasn't been done before. Like it's been done to death since The Thing. I liked the sort of prop hunt vibe to it, where you step into a room and you're like, anything in this room could be these fucking aliens, and I'd have no idea. I could get jumped at any moment. And that was a nice feeling. That was a cool feeling. It was, I will say, immersive in that front. It was a very immersive game, but Prey was very frustrating when it came to the combat. The skill tree seemed cool. It was a nice, like, you'd get a lot of nice benefits from doing it, but it felt hard to get. What was the currency? I don't even remember.
I forgot, but I know what you're talking about.
It was really hard to get.
Yeah.
And so it was like I feel weak because I don't have anything in this skill tree, so I'm gonna try and get stuff from this skill tree, but the enemies, almost every single enemy I came across was too strong. There was never enough ammo. The tools they gave you, as cool as they were, like the glue gun, that was super
Yeah, that's
cool,
the best part.
but it just felt like I didn't have any ammo ever. So 90% of the time I didn't even have ammo for the glue gun or any of my other guns. So
Yeah.
combat was either melee or nothing, or run away. So it didn't.
Or wrench.
Yeah, wrench. And it just didn't feel good. It was very frustrating because there was a lot of things that I wanted to do and just couldn't because there were enemies in my way. I think visually it was a pretty nice looking game. It ran pretty well. I liked the outside of the spaceship stuff. That was nice. Like being able to, you know, when you get out of the spaceship and you just like fly around it, like that was really cool. I like that a lot.
The glass physics.
Yes, yeah. The glass
Some
physics
of the
were
best
neat.
glass physics on like any game.
The thing is, I wanted to like Prey. I wanted to play it, and it seemed like an interesting game. I just felt weak. I felt powerless the entire time, and not in like a good kind of powerless. Like Silent Hill has a good way of making you feel powerless because it's like you're in kind of a situation where you're supposed to feel powerless. But in Prey, it's like, you know, it's like a Bethesda game. You're supposed to be powerless, but you have all of these tools at your disposal. So really, you're just like a gunslinging maniac. But no, didn't matter what I did. Just felt like I didn't have any options. And I don't know. I don't want to put it in the quit. I don't think I even want to quit a quit tier list thing. I think I just want to do an F.
Yeah.
So but do you think below D we should put F? Because I know like E.
Yeah.
But like
E is like, I mean, like, if you're gonna have E, like, I don't think. If we had like a ton of games here, then maybe. But like,
yeah.
yeah, you should have an F though. You should.
All right. We'll delete the bottom row and we'll just keep F. just for clarification, I put it in D. We're back.
I fucked up this stream. That's
Mhm.
crazy.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I was going off on my tangent about Prey.
Yeah, go ahead.
I personally love Prey, and I love all of Arcane Systems games, and I love the immersive sim genre in general, which I think Arcane is currently the best at. Prey is a very niche game, even to this day. When it came out, it didn't get a lot of acclaim, but as the years gone by, it's been getting a lot more acclaim because people are realizing just how genius it actually is.
Yeah.
And I agree. Prey is really good as a game. I'd put it in like an A tier game. I love a lot about it. And then I also want to talk about like the immersive sim genre in general. And kind of a realization I had after watching your streams. So the immersive sim genre in general is actually pretty niche. There's not a lot of games like Prey or System Shock or Atomic Heart or
Yeah.
there's Bioshock, etc., or Deus Ex, Deus Ex Revolution, Human Revolution.
It feels pretty rare.
It's a niche series, and one of the Arcane developers, I remember reading an article. They said like the immersive sim genre in general, where you can like interact and have like player choice and all that. It's a niche genre. Like if you think about it, a lot of people want a game like that, where you can have like a billion different choices to like solve things, but in actuality it's a very specific thing people want, and most people generally want a linear
just because it's
experience.
simple,
Like,
right?
because people like open world games because there's the at least the in my opinion
Illusion.
the delusion or the illusion of player allegiance when there really isn't. It's just like point A to point B and a bunch of like checklisty shit. I think immersive sims do what open world games can't, in that you can basically tackle the game in like any way you want, and that's why I love immersive sim genres. But at the same time, I think it's very niche because it requires a lot of player allegiance too.
Yeah.
So I get why a game like Prey didn't get a lot of critical acclaim. Because a game like Dishonored like got a lot of critical acclaim when it came out because it's just such a fucking sick game, and it is an immersive sim, but it's also a stealth archer whatever supernatural magic game. Like it's pretty cool. But like a game like Prey, not only did it have the name of a completely unrelated 2007 game.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was with that, but that felt a little unfair for the game, to be honest.
It should have been called like System Shock 3 or something, in my opinion, or like something Shock, to know that because the Shock series are like the most iconic immersive sim games in the entire immersive sim genre. But watching it, it was kind of fun. Like it was fun seeing like how you solved it. I think that was the most fun, like seeing how your playthrough differed.
Yeah, because
people say that about like Elden Ring and Breath of the Wild and Skyrim. Like, oh, like my playthrough is so different than yours. But like,
but with a game like Prey, there's like complete like it's got like the way how I got into the greenhouse was like I just was like fuck it, I'll build stairs on the back. It's like you could do that in so many different ways. Yeah,
like actually like literally play it in a completely different way.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about the game this time and the genre itself, because I feel like it's a very misunderstood genre.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I agree. For Prey, I want to because like I see the value in the game itself. I see what it is. Like it ran really well and it played really well. It just, the only problem was it was just really imbalanced. I think if like you tweak some numbers in that game, and I think it would be a really great game.
Yeah.
I think it's just the problem is just that like it's the enemies are just too strong.
It's also the game, like out of all these here, it's probably the game I was most surprised that you dropped. Like Silent Hill 1, I could see why you dropped it, and Mass Effect 1 was kind of just like a nosedive into kind of game that you don't usually play at all. So
Yeah.
I was like, those games that you did drop kind of made sense. But like Prey, it basically solved all the answers of Atomic Heart that you didn't like, and I know there's a lot of elements to Atomic Heart that you do like, and Prey is basically that, but like infinitely better. So that's why I was like, Prey is like a really good game you'll play.
Yeah.
Me personally, I actually didn't really have issue with the balancing. I kind of just went through the game, but I might have did it on normal mode. I think you played on hard, right?
I think I did play on hard, but
Yeah,
that might be my fault. But I think even then, I moved it down to normal.
Yeah, you
at
did
one
move
point,
it down,
and
yeah.
it still just felt like there was nothing I could do.
I will say it is also one of those games where you really have to stick with the build you make. You can't really just put points in
Yeah.
everything, otherwise.
You can't really deviate.
Yeah. But you should play it on your own time, though.
I think so.
Also.
I think I'm definitely not gonna drop it forever. I'll probably pick it up one day again and play it by myself, just to experience just to experience it and see how it is, and actually play the game kind of the way it's supposed to be played. I think it was less welcome to just kind of haha, whatever, fun game. You had to actually be a bit more specific with what you did in that game.
Yeah.
So I would
If I had to change
say
game, like C or D, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I don't want to plop it in D, because D feels like the shit tier almost.
Yeah.
F is just bad. D is like kind of shit. C is like, pretty good, but not amazing, which honestly makes me want to put Prey here and then bump Turnip Boy up to B. But I think Turnip Boy being at the top of C, and then Prey I'll put at the bottom of C.
Yeah.
I'd say it was pretty
I
fair.
think you should put Turnip Boy up one.
Up one, so like end of B kind of thing.
Yeah. It is better than Prey. Like, it was a cute little, edgy little, goofy little game.
Yeah. Nice little indie game. You gotta love it. You barely got to stream it too. I think it would be okay in D.
Yeah, like, because
Yeah.
Turnip Boy is not, like, it's not average. It's not an average game. It's it's a unique game.
It is. I would say it's like slightly above average in terms of, because like when it first came out, like a lot of people were playing it, like Jacksepticeye and Markiplier, just because of the stupid like name and concept of it. People loved it. It was like, aha, Turnip Boy commits tax fraud. Like, that's just silly, you know? So it kind of garnered, like, I remember when it came out, it was like Everhood. Like, Everhood now is like completely dead. But back when it came out, it was like Moist Critical was streaming it. And like, guys, check out this cool game where you dodge and it's like a rhythm game. And it was big, but just kind of tapers off a little bit over time. So yeah, I would say Prey deserves C, and Turnip Boy will go right behind Royal.
Yeah.
All right.
What's next?
Next one on the list is, so we had Prey, and then we have Silent Hill 3. Oh boy. It was not fun. I'll be completely honest. It was okay. I liked the story bits of it, I guess.
I love the music.
Yes, the music was also really good. But yeah, the game was definitely not good. I don't know. As a whole, like, Silent Hill 3 was neat playing as a girl. That was it. It just kind of felt like a novelty rather than an actual in-depth character.
Yeah, Heather is like, she's just a guy with daddy issues. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care. Like,
yeah, I like the tie back
like
that she was the baby from Silent Hill 1. Like, that's cool. But at the same time, who cares? Like, there's no reason for me to care about that. Besides
Harry's
the fact
not even
that,
an interesting person either. So, like, I have no reason to care about his daughter.
yeah, like, Henry was such a blank slate in the first game, and he's such a blank slate in the third game. And oh no, he dies. Boo-hoo. It's like,
Was it Henry or Harry?
I think it was
Harry.
Harry, I think. Whatever. Yeah, one of them. Doesn't matter. Just,
Yeah.
He was
Still trash game.
He was very boring. He wasn't really much of a character.
Yeah.
Where's my daughter? Where's Cheryl? Where's Cheryl? That's all he was the entire game. Heather was at least, she had some sass at the very least. She had some personality.
She vomited a baby.
Yeah, that was pretty gross. I will say that was pretty nasty. The final boss was tough. Like, not much else to really say. I feel like Silent Hill 3 is a little bit iconic for the whole amusement park aspect of that. Like, if I don't know,
That was really cool. That part was pretty...
yeah. I will say the levels themselves in Silent Hill are interesting in the fact that they are just like normal everyday places, just completely turned to shit. The boss fights felt better in 3. Fighting felt a little better in 3. Like in 3, I think I got a meta where I would just like step forward, swing, step back, step forward, swing, step back, and it would work. I wouldn't really get hit a lot. But not really much else to say. Like I just didn't really care for it. Like I would say it's better than 1, but it's not getting out of D tier.
Yeah, D tier's fine. I'm fine with D tier.
Okay. Next on the list is, what was it? Silent Hill 3 and then Shadow of the Colossus. Okay, here we go. I loved Shadow of the Colossus. I'd heard a lot about it. As a matter of fact, I think we used to have the original one for the PS2. I remember watching my brother, specifically, now that I remember watching him take down the second Colossus. The only negative thing I can really say about the game is it was just repetitive, having to like how many Colossi were there? Like
18, 16, something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. And every single one was teleport you back to the thing, see the statue crumble. Oh, they say go this way, shine your sword, and run that way for a while until you find out what it, you go there and, oh, boss time. The Colossi were really cool looking. They were really intimidating in a way. There's something terrifying about just being like there, and then they just look at you, and it's like, uh-oh. Like, it was cool. I liked it. The scale of everything, too, was awesome. Climbing up their backs, and, like, you're literally hanging on to them by their hair. Like, I think the music was, nothing, like, too insane. Like, it wasn't really, like, quote-unquote iconic, I guess you could say. But
It played at the right time.
yeah, it was good. It made the situations very epic, very intense. Definitely feels like one of those games that you have to play at least once in your life. So
100%.
I'm really glad that I finally played it this year.
Yeah, out of like all the games on this list, like pretty much all of them, I think like Shadow of the Colossus is the one that I would like make sure you play this.
Yeah, like it's a
Because,
must
like Metal
play.
Gear
kind of thing.
Solid, there's like a fuck ton of freaking cutscenes in Metal Gear Solid,
Yeah,
and Silent Hill is like horror game, so it's immediately not for everyone. Same with Resident Evil.
yeah,
Mass Effect is like space story game, aliens, and a lot like dialogue heavy.
yeah,
Bloodborne's a hard game, but like Shadow of the Colossus is short. It's like a 6-hour game. You can beat it in like a weekend.
mm-hmm.
Has a very profound, beautiful story.
Yes, yeah. For how
Sad.
simple the story was, it was really good.
Yeah,
I'd probably put it at the top of B, maybe even late A. What do you think?
I put it in A. It's so fun watching you play. It's like one of the most iconic games ever.
All right. We'll plop that bad boy into the back of A. I think that's a good spot for it. I'm gonna move the Stanley Parable back behind it. We'll put it is slightly above Stanley Parable, but not past
it's
Metal
better
Gear.
than that.
I'd say that's a good
Yeah.
spot. Okay. Oh boy. Silent Hill 4. I'm actually excited for this one. I hear a lot of people say it's bad. It definitely is repetitive. It's, you're in the room, you go to the new area, oh, crazy something happens. You go to the, you're in the room, in the area. But I liked the mystique of the first half. I liked I'm trapped in a room, I don't know what's going on. Nobody outside can hear me, but people are outside. Things are happening, and I have no idea why. I liked that. It felt very similar to PT, which apparently PT was inspired by Silent Hill 4. I really liked that. And the way the apartment slowly changed. I like that. It felt like escape was just out of your reach. Like it was there, but you just couldn't reach it. And it had a very spooky vibe to that. Henry Townshend, I liked him. He was pretty decent as a protagonist. Now, there's the second half of Silent Hill 4 that I did not like at all, where it just becomes a 4-5 hour escort mission where if you fuck up once, bad ending. Like by the end of the Silent Hill 4 stream, the last one we did, where it was like this long slog where I was like, oh god, please let this end. But I would say Silent Hill 4 still surpasses the first two games. Or sorry, the first game and the third game. It just, the last half of the game was such a slog. And having to do the same dungeons again, but a little bit different, was terrible. And in the, first half, didn't have to worry about anything. I could just run from room to room. Second half, I have to fucking escort this stupid bitch the entire way through. And my god, it sucked. It just sucked. You were over it. It just dragged on. You just wanted to finish it. Exactly. I wanted it to be done. By the end of that stream, I was like, I don't like this game. I can't ignore the fact that it had a really good start. The first couple hours were really good. And the whole people dying and then it being like counted was cool. Was really, really cool. How it was almost like people were showing up in the real world dying. I didn't like that it just harkened back once again to, oh my god, demons. Oh my god, spooky. Like, that was just stupid. It dragged on. C maybe? Yeah, I think Silent Hill 4 deserves to go in C. Very, very, just barely makes it to C. I think it's past Silent Hill 1 and 3. Definitely not better than Prey. It will not go above Prey in any way. But it's, yeah, I think it at least deserves C for its decent start. But what do you think, Espanier?
I hate it. I hate Silent Hill 4. I'd put it in F, but I'd accept a C. I'd put it in D.
You'd put it in D? All right.
Yeah,
well,
with the rest of the Silent Hill games, yeah.
We'll give it an average once again, and I'll just plop it at the top of D.
Sounds
I'd say that's a fair assessment for it as a whole. Funny that 3 of the Silent Hill games are in D, and the other one is in A.
Thank God.
Yeah. Okay, we're done with the shitty games. Thank God. After Silent Hill 4, we started Chrono Trigger.
I wonder where this is gonna go.
Let's go. Oh my god.
Bombing Aspirin.
Oh, one of the best JRPGs. One of the best JRPGs of all time. If we were to put in S, which I think is a pretty fair spot to put it for an SNES RPG, would you say it's better than Metal Gear Solid 4, or would you think it's better than all 3 of them?
Still think the whole Metal Gear series was like way more fun to watch than Chrono Trigger. Like,
Well, it was still a JRPG.
Pog champion. Better than Metal Gear Solid 4?
I think that's tricky.
I like it where it is. I like it where it is because it's Chrono Trigger, it's really fun.
Yeah.
But like seeing Metal Gear Solid 2's ending, it's like
Yeah. Okay, I agree with that, Svenir. I loved Chrono Trigger. I love the whole team up attacks. It's everything you love in an RPG. You play a classic RPG, this is exactly what you get. You get Chrono Trigger. It's amazing. The combat was great. ATB system instead of like just turn-based, whatever. And it was like tense. It was, once again, much like Final Fantasy VI last year, and like any other ATB type RPGs. It was tense. It was hard, and the story was very interesting. I really liked the story. The time travel mechanic was really, really cool. I like that. That was just that alone. The party being people throughout time was so cool to me. Like, obviously I saw the cover for Chrono Trigger and I was like, oh, hey, little cave woman there, and there's a robot. Oh, it must be from different times. But like seeing how vastly different all their personalities are and like the places they're from was just so cool, man. One of those games that if you are, if you like RPGs, you gotta play Chrono Trigger. You gotta. At some point in your life, you have to. It's just so good. So good. What do you think, Asphanier?
What?
About Chrono Trigger?
Oh, S tier. Yeah, that's one of the
Yeah.
best games ever.
Good shit. I think after Chrono Trigger, we did Resident Evil 1. By the way, do you have a clip? Ah!
Yeah.
Let's see.
Probably the last mid game. Yeah.
Yep. Even then, like I would even say Resident Evil 1 was like, yeah, it was mid, but it wasn't like to nowhere near Silent Hill mid, you know?
Yeah, no.
Not even close. Holy shit. Love this game. I do. I think the atmosphere was pretty good. I was kind of snoozing a little bit. I tried to, you know, I started the game off and I was like, oh, I can just raw dog this. It should be fine. I, in fact, could not raw dog it. I needed a guide. It was super confusing. There were too many items they were giving me all at once. And it was just, nothing was really that consistent in terms of puzzle solving. Like, you know, it wasn't like, here's an item. Oh, where did this fit? Maybe that thing I saw earlier. Here's a diamond. Like, the first item I found was a diamond that you use in, like, endgame. I was keeping that thing on me because I was like, I don't know. I might need this, maybe. So I used a guide, and it was really fun. I wouldn't say it spooked me very much, but then again, one of my most popular clips of the year was me screaming like a little girl, because the giant tarantulas in that game are the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen in a video game. The sharks were cool, lol. Yeah, I like the sharks too, but the spiders, I was on edge, man. When you could hear the little thumping, the little do 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 do. Oh, if they were fast, I would shit myself, genuinely. Like if they weren't, because they were slow, but if they were fast, oh my god, that would be terrifying. The gameplay was pretty good. It felt good. I'm glad it wasn't tank controls. Item wise, good. Music, good. Visuals looked very pretty. It did. And it ran really good too. I played that on the PS5, and obviously, you know, it's a PS4 game, so clearly it's gonna run a bit better. And it did. It was really good. I almost quit, but I decided, like, halfway through, I was just like, you know what? We'll use the walkthrough and we'll just power through this bitch. Because the next game is gonna be a good one. What do you think, Asphanier?
Resident Evil 1?
Yeah.
E.
Did you watch much of it?
Watching. Yeah. That's all. Don't
Yeah.
have much to say.
Fair enough, I guess. Yeah. Maybe a little higher.
I'll play higher, yeah.
Okay.
Not as good as Turn Up Boy or Persona 5, though. No way. No way ever in hell are they better than those two. It's better than Prey, though.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll plop it at the top. See, we'll put it above Prey. There's Resident Evil 1, and then we started Bloodborne. Oh,
I'm happy it's over. This game fucking sucks.
this game does fucking suck.
I wonder where we're putting
Bloodborne.
this one.
We're
It's
talking.
the last one where it's like, okay, we clearly know where this is going. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would say it's definitely an S tier game that we've streamed this year, but I would place it above Metal Gear Solid 4 and 2, but behind 3.
Yeah. That's completely okay.
You think that's good?
Yeah. It was kind of good to like really re-experience the game and see everything I did.
Mm-hmm. Almost
I
from
get
like
more,
a
like-
blind perspective for me.
Basically everything here that isn't a horror game is going in A or S tier.
Felt like it
Yeah.
added a lot just having you there as someone to talk to. Because like for me, Bloodborne I think holds a very special place in my heart. Definitely one of my favorite games ever. Like it's up there in my top 10 with the Souls games and with Elden Ring and with all that stuff. I tried for the longest time to really get into Bloodborne, and I really liked Bloodborne. I just didn't like the frame rate and how it ran on PS4. But playing it on PS5, the frame rate was like a solid 30, so it didn't deviate. It ran good. Everything felt great. So I was finally able to, and I did my own little build with the Kirk hammer. And I think I literally got the platinum trophy. Like I experienced Bloodborne, and I'm glad I finally did, because it's been on my list for so long. Like I bought that game, I think back in like 2016, 2017, because I was like, oh, a new Dark Souls game. And I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand Bloodborne when I first played it. Now I get it. It's its own thing, and I see now why people are so upset that Sony has kind of just left it to rot. And like I think it's an amazing game. I'm so glad, like much like most of these games this year, I'm so glad I'm finally experiencing them. Let me just
Yes, sir.
check
I think
that.
so.
Let's see. Yep, Resident Evil 2.
Anti-sleep. Dark Citizen.
Right after Bloodborne. Resident Evil 2 was really, really cool. I'm glad that I actually like didn't just I'm glad I didn't finish Leon's and then I was like, oh, that's it, we're done. Like the story didn't really conclude in any meaningful way. So I was like, I gotta finish. I liked Resident Evil 2. It felt a lot better than the first game. It felt like this one was definitely more of a remake rather than like a remaster kind of thing.
Yeah, that's like a prime example of remakes, like that
Yeah.
and FF7 are like complete
Yeah.
recreation. It's like,
Like
different.
brand new modern experience, but it's the same
Yeah.
game. And it was
Yeah.
awesome. I was constantly on edge. Like it felt like just, a better version of Resident Evil 1, where yes, on Resident Evil 1, I was like, I gotta manage my bullets, I gotta manage healing, I gotta manage all this stuff. But in Resident Evil 2, I'm like, okay, I can manage this stuff. Like if I'm smart and I dodge zombies or I use like everything that I have at my disposal, I can make this last. I can make my ammo and my health last. I can be cautious. And then there was stuff like Mr. X, fucking horrifying. God, one of the scariest game enemies I've ever seen. The way he just stares at you and beelines straight for you is terrifying.
Yeah.
God, it's scary. And it's like, it's not like a, like a jump scare kind of scare, like horror game kind of scare. It's just like, bro, if you saw this absolute brick shithouse of a man walking straight towards you with like staring you down with intent to kill, you'd be terrified. Terrified. Anyone would. So I would say Resident Evil 2 was a really good game. I'm glad I streamed it. I would put it probably in maybe top of B tier.
Yeah, I agree. I adore Resident Evil 2. It's one of my favorite Resident Evils. One of my favorite horror games. And I don't really I don't really like horror games a lot. I think it's a genre of a bunch of mid. And I mean, there's a reason why Resident Evil is like the most popular horror series, because it is the best.
Yeah,
Let's be real. Like,
it really is. Okay, we're down to the final three. Next up is Mass Effect.
Holy fuck.
We didn't finish Mass
Oh, boy.
Effect.
Yeah.
I don't really have too much to say. Like, it's not a bad game. I know for a fact that it's not. I'm glad I played it, but I obviously didn't finish it. It just wasn't really like I wasn't really loving it. Like I wasn't like, it wasn't like Bloodborne or Metal Gear where I was like excited to like get on stream and play it. I was just kind of like, this feels like something more I would just play in my free time, kind of casually, rather than like a casual stream playthrough. It was good. I know you adore these games as Fanyard, so I'm interested to hear like what your thoughts were on as a viewer.
Mass Effect, again, it's one of those games where like your dialogue choices will completely differ. I mean, like I like to do like good person routes, so watching you do like the shitty person, yeah, fuck everything up was so funny.
I kept doing all the really shitty mean answers.
Yeah, you didn't get really far in the game. I will say that too. You only got like 4 or 5 hours in. You got to the second planet. You were like, I'd say you only got like maybe a fifth of the way through the game. Also, did you stream that again? Never mind. Okay, it's good.
Oh, okay.
But as a stream game, I'd put it like B.
Yeah. Low B, or like where would you put it? B.
boring.
So yeah, I would put Mass Effect in B, the very, very butt end of B. Now for the final two, which I'm going to just do Lethal Company first. Teleport me. I know it's a multiplayer game, but I wanted to talk about it because I as a matter of fact, I'm probably gonna play it once this is over. Like once we're done with the tier list, I'll probably boot up some Lethal Company. This game is amazing. As simple and like it is literally less than a gigabyte. It is really good. It's really enjoyable to play and just like even just talk to strangers, despite we get the occasional slur slinger, but that's okay. It's an online game. Can't really do anything about that. You got to play Deep Rock Galactic. I've heard a lot of people comparing Lethal Company to that, but I don't know much about Deep Rock Galactic. All I know
It's like Borderlands,
is it.
kind of. I think,
Yeah.
or like Destiny.
Hmm.
In that same vein. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think Lethal Company is a good game. I would say right now the game is exploding and it gets a tiny update where they add like spray paint and a new enemy and like a couple new items and like it explodes again. I have a lot of confidence that this game is basically the next Among Us, where Among Us blew up
Better.
and oh yeah, it definitely is. Among Us blew up and was like hugely popular in 2020, but I think Lethal Company has the potential to be like the next massive multiplayer indie game, like Among Us. It's
Among Us.
Among Us. Yeah.
Among Us!
I'm gonna put it like put a middle A. Flop it above Shadow of the Colossus, but below Metal Gear. And it's kind of in its own. It's just kind of in its own thing. Like, I'm not saying though it's better than those games. I'm just saying quality wise.
It's multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quality wise, I would say it's like an 8.
Plus how much fun you have with it too. Like,
Exactly. Everhood. We just finished it earlier this week, and it was phenomenal. Like, as an indie game, story-based indie game, it had the same feels like Undertale, like shit like that, where the characters were just joking constantly, and it had deeper themes hidden within. But like, what it really shined was the gameplay. Gameplay was amazing, man. Like, the whole dodge mechanic was just fucking cool. And the fact that halfway through the game it takes a 180 and now you're on offense instead of defense is just like, oh, it's just chef's kiss. I love it. Felt really good to play it. Felt really good to stream it. I had a lot of fun playing it, and I would probably say it's like I'd put it on A tier, like the very end of A tier. Not that I disliked it. The story was neat, but it was cool. I liked it. It wasn't anything like Amori, where Amori has an amazing story that everybody in chat is like, oh, what the fuck, man, like, that was insane. Like, no, the story was decent, and I think it was definitely just the gameplay and the music and like, oh god, the music, oh, it was so good, so good. That was amazing. But what do you think, Asfanger? I don't know if you watched too much of Everhood. I know you like the game.
I did. Yeah, I do really like Everhood.
What you think?
Everhood? Oh yeah, great game. I loved it. As a stream game, yeah, pretty good. Like decent. I'd give it like a B.
Good B? Yeah, all right. I'll move it to top of B. I feel like that's a fair spot. That's a damn fine, good-looking tier list right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like it. Yeah, but we got the Metal Gear Solid games, Bloodborne, Chrono Trigger, and S. A tier is Silent Hill 2, Metal Gear 1, Lethal Company.
If you want to give some quick thoughts on like how these games contrast to some of other games you've played in the past, like before 2023.
Are you talking like on stream or just me in general?
Yeah, if you
Or a
like
bit of
some
both.
like Persona 3, like you'd put that in S tier, right?
Yeah, I would definitely put Persona 3 up
Like
in S tier.
Xenoblade, you'd put in S tier.
Yeah.
Or like what about like SMT 4?
SMT is something like SMT 4. I'd probably put SMT 4 in like A. I really
A,
liked
yeah.
SMT 4. Like the gameplay was amazing and just like so kick-ass the entire time. The story was okay. Like I didn't love it, didn't hate it kind of thing. It was cool. But it was a Silent Hill game, or not Silent Hill, it was a SMT game. But it was, yeah, like games like that I've played over the years, where we have stuff like, you know, Persona 3, we got Resident Evil games, Silent Hill, whatever. Before you go, what are your final thoughts on this tier list?
Excellent. This is probably, in terms of like your best streaming year, this is probably it. Besides 2020, 2021, that period, that was
Mhm.
pretty litty.
I think switching to 3-hour streams instead of 2, I think that was also a good choice.
Yeah.
Good. It's a good, like, it's long, but it's not like, you know, it's not taking up all of my time, and it's still a lot of time for me to be streaming.
Yeah.
It's good. So yeah, this is a good year. Hey, Editing Gamma here. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. That was a long 3 months. The video is finally done, and if you're actually watching to the very end, thank you so much. I've never done a video of this scale before. There's not really much else to say. I just wanted to give a special thanks to everybody who made it this far in the video, and everybody who watched me through 2023 on all those games. I appreciate every single one of you. So here's to 2024. We're already like a fucking quarter into 2024, so good job, Gamma. Real productive. And just another reminder, I just want to let you guys know, all these games were streamed on my Twitch channel. I know I said it at the start of the video. That was like fucking an hour and a half ago though, so I'm just letting you know now. All of this was on Twitch, and if there are any games you want me to play, leave it down in the comments below, or just join my Discord and let me know, or just DM me to just tell me to go fuck myself. You can do whatever you want, but like, I'm just saying, if you want me to play one of your favorite games, just let me know and I'll do it. I'll see what I can do. And thanks to Asvenir. He's not a content creator, but he's just a friend of mine, so appreciate him helping with that video. It was very helpful. Absolutely, really helpful. So thanks guys, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.